Hi everybody, my name is Bhavishya and in this lecture we will see Type 4 and Type 5 LSA. Till here we have known about Type 1, Type 2 and Type 3 LSA. So here we will see new LSAs. For that we have to revise previous concepts and have to learn new concepts. So the previous lesson says that for a non-backbone area to exist perfectly, one router of it should be connected to a backbone area, right? Yes. Now the concept forwards and says about autonomous area or autonomous system. As you can see, this area 0, backbone area, this whole topology is autonomous system. Now what is autonomous system? If I want to take a practical example of autonomous college to make you understand what is autonomous system. So it is that an autonomous college is a college which runs its own rules and regulation and which is not influenced by any other college or external entity. Similarly, when we talk about when we talk about autonomous system, so here its own protocol is run and it's not influenced by any external system, right? Yes. So this is our ASBR. So this is our AS, autonomous system. And here the protocol which is working for our routing is OSPF, right? OSPF, autonomous system. Yes. So this is our OSPF autonomous system. This is one autonomous system. Now let's suppose in this topology we will add one more autonomous system. Let me pull out the topology. Okay, so we have this one autonomous system where OSPF is working as a routing protocol, and now we have a different or another autonomous system where for routing RIP protocol is used instead of OSPF, right? Yes. So now these are working autonomously, right? Now let's suppose I want R6 to communicate with R7 from to this whole protocol which is working under RIP protocol. So for that I will connect R6 to R7. Now when I connect this, something will happen. Now what is something? So as we know, what was this R3? R3 was ABR, that is area border router, right? Which was working simultaneously in two different areas. Now, if you look at R6, something special happened here because R6 became autonomous border router, ASBR. right? Now it is working simultaneously in two different autonomous systems. So when R6 will communicate, it will generate type 5 LSA, that is external LSA, or it is known as type 5 LSA as ASBR. Right. Now the scope of the ASBR is within the whole autonomous system. So it will send its own type 5 LSA to other routers. Now the question is R6, if we talk about R6, how many LSAs it will generate? How many types of LSAs it will generate? It will generate type 1 LSA, like router LSA. It will generate type 2 LSA if at all it is working as DR. It will generate ASBR, right? So when router LSA is generated, there is this thing that there is this bit or field that is conserved for them to determine if someone is a ABR or ASBR. If the field is set, let's suppose as R6 is ASBR, so in its type 1 LSA, the field for ASBR will be set to true. As R3 will see that, like, okay, R6 is ASBR. So as R3 is ABR here, it will generate type 4 LSA, that is ASBR summary LSA, type 4 LSA. So R3 will generate ASBR summary LSA with its own router ID, with its originating ID 3.3.3.3. And when it will send to R2, R2 will impose its own router ID and will send to area 1. So the router ID will be 2.2.2.2. Now the question is, who generates type 4 LSA? Type 4 LSA is generated by ABR. So the ABR here in this topology is R3. Also, what is the trigger of ABR to generate ASBR summary LSA? So the trigger is when ABR saw in somebody's router LSA that okay, the value of the field, the value of ASBR is set to true, then then it generates ASBR summary LSA, that particular router, right? So if at all we summarize the whole thing, that different types of LSA, the very first is type 1 LSA, router LSA. Who generates that? Every router generates type 1 LSA. Next, type 2 LSA or network LSA. Who generates that LSA? Designated router or DR. The next one is type 3 LSA or network summary LSA. Who generates that? ABR, area border router generates that. Then next up, type 4 LSA, or let's suppose type 5 LSA first, or external LSA. Who generates that? R6 or ASBR, autonomous border router. After that, who generates type 4 LSA or ABR, ASBR summary LSA, that is R3, ABR, area border router. Right. So this was it for this lecture. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.